Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect. My name is Pete, and to celebrate the new year today we complete the first part of Feros. Yes, we are advancing the main quest line. I think we've dabbled around the galaxy and completed side missions for long enough now, so I think it's now time to continue with some more meaningful things. In terms of story, it actually would have made sense to go to Feros first, because the mission there has a sense of urgency to it that the other missions don't really have. I'll get into that in a second. For now, let's make the journey. We enter the Theseus system, and apart from Feros there are two planets of interest here. The first one is Sharing, where we can recover a Prothean data disk, and the second one is Quana, where we get some cobalt. Then we can mark Feros itself and proceed to land. Alright, now instead of venturing out immediately, we'll do a few other things first. We have the possibility to get a few small conversations with our crewmates in, and I also promised to do an equipment overview. Down here on the lower deck, Shepard's locker actually hosts 3 new shotguns for us, and that's actually also the reason I traveled to Feros first, because that causes the locker here to restock. We can now take the elevator downstairs and exchange a few lines with Garrus.
Commander, I wanted to thank you.
Oh, and what for?
What for, Garrus? For everything. Taking me with you, letting me be part of your team. I've learned a lot. Thanks, Commander.
Well, isn't that nice of him?
You're welcome, Garrus.
Alright, after this very short conversation, we'll now have a slightly longer one with Wrex.
Never a dull moment with you, Shepard.
Since we have investigated everything, let's go for the personal inquiry.
You ever go on any missions like ours before?
Saving the galaxy from certain destruction? No. But I've had my share of adventures.
Well, I guess feel free to share a story.
Do you remember any that stick out?
A few. I remember one time I was hired by a Volus diplomat. What an ass.
A Krogan mercenary hired by a politician. Interesting.
I guess even politicians have need of mercs from time to time, huh?
Time to time. If it wasn't for politicians, I'd be out of work. They're always looking for ways to get ahead. This one was no different. He wanted me to erase his past. Get rid of an old friend who knew too much. Huh. His old friend turned out to be an Asari commando.
So, at least that seems like a bit of a challenge for you.
Were you afraid of her?
What? No. Alina and I were old friends. Sort of. We met when we were both contracted to kill the same Turian. Neither of us wanted the other one to get him first. We spent more time fighting each other than tracking that Turian.
And just out of curiosity, who won?
Which one of you made it first?
It was a tie. I brought back his head. She got the rest of him. As far as I know, we both got paid. Anyway, when I told Alina about the diplomat's contract, she and I had a good laugh about it.
It still left you in a bit of a dilemma, right?
So what did you do?
Well, I wasn't going to lose the contract, but I respected Alina. In the end, I let her pick the location where we'd fight. She chose some old Solarian space station overrun with mercs and smugglers. That way we didn't have to worry about hurting any innocent bystanders. She always was a bit of a softie.
So did you manage to fulfill your contract?
What happened on the station?
What didn't happen? For 2 days, I chased her through that station, used my entire store of ammunition, had to kill a bunch of mercs and use their crap weapons. By the 3rd day, the station was barely holding together. The mercs were dead or gone, life support was failing, but I had her. She'd locked herself in the med labs. She was trying to patch herself up. Damn tough, that one. Then just when I thought I had her, the station's core went critical. Barely made it back to my ship in time.
I assume the Asari Commando didn't make it?
I watched the station from a distance. I never saw her leave. And when that place blew, there was nothing left larger than a Turian's right nut. So I headed back to the diplomat to give him the good news and collect my pay. But before I got halfway there, Alina sent me a message. Better luck next time. Now, I'm not superstitious, but if someone can survive that, well, they deserve to live. At least for a bit longer.
So what exactly did you tell the diplomat?
What about the diplomat? He wanted her dead.
I told him the truth. Alina was still alive and she was really pissed. I told him if he wanted to live, he'd need me around to protect him.
Oh, I see. That's tricky of you.
And he believed you.
He kept me on as his personal guard until he died. Natural causes. Easiest job I've ever had. A little boring, but credits are credits.
Well then, I guess thanks for the story, Wrex.
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
Alright, Wrex's story also gave us a codex entry, and I think now it is time to have a quick look at how our squad is currently equipped. If you're not interested in seeing that, I will add an annotation here so you can skip ahead to the next bit of gameplay. Alright, off screen I quickly made a few changes and this is how our squad now looks. We will start with Liara, who's a pistol user. She currently has the Stiletto 7 with an improved sighting and a combat scanner equipped. We don't have any munition upgrades equipped because those will change depending on the mission. She also has a pretty decent Omni tool and a biotic amp that focuses largely on cooldown. Her armor is the mercenary 5 light armor equipped with a health regeneration upgrade. Liara does not have health regeneration unlocked by one of her talents, so we need to help out here. Then for Tali, the weapon loadout is very similar. She has a Raikou 7 pistol, but the improved sighting and the combat scanner remain. Her Omni tool is very similar to Liara's. I just noticed, however, that it is a bit weaker, so I should probably switch those. Her armor then offers very little protection. We are a bit short on Quarian armors, to be honest, and this one is once again equipped with a first aid interface, the same thing that Liara has. Now we get to Wrex, and here things are a bit different. With the Thunder 5, Wrex has a nice but not a top tier assault rifle. His main weapon is this one, the Katana 7 shotgun. That thing already packs quite a punch and I've actually increased the damage output with a rail extension. That however generates additional heat, so to counter that I've also put a heatsink on. Once again, no ammo upgrades just yet. His biotic amp is solid and doesn't focus on one area in particular. Since Wrex only has limited access to biotics, that's absolutely fine. For armor then we have the Titan 6, we could have also chosen the Mantis 4. That one has slightly more shields and almost equal damage protection. But since Wrex also has access to barrier and also has a very large health pool, I decided in favor of the additional tech and biotic protection that the Titan 6 provides. Now onto Garrus, where the situation is very similar to Wrex. With the Tsunami 6, Garrus has a very solid assault rifle, also equipped with an improved sighting, however his main weapon will be the sniper. Here he has the Equalizer 6, which at the moment I'm not 100% happy with, but will hopefully grab something better soon. The sniper is also equipped with a rail extension. For a very slow firing weapon like the sniper, the additional heat isn't much of a problem. His Omni tool focuses largely on shields. He will be slightly more on the front line than Tali, for example, and for that reason I'm also happy we have this armor for him. The Predator 6 is an excellent piece of equipment, however Garrus also needs health regeneration. On to Kaidan next, and he once again is an exclusive pistol user. Only 2 upgrade slots for him on the Stiletto 6 compared to 3 for Liara and Tali. And we're also going a bit of a different route with the upgrades here. A recoil damper instead of the usual improved sighting for him. His Omni tool focuses on all 3 areas largely the same, and his biotic amp gives him a nice duration bonus. That helps with lift, barrier and stasis, all abilities that he has access to. His armor is the Duelist 6, which is largely only good for its shields, and even though Kaidan could benefit from health regeneration, I have him equipped with a kinetic buffer, mainly because of its cooldown reduction. Then, last but not least, over to Ashley. She can and will only use the Raptor 6 assault rifle. To be honest, I really don't plan on taking her with me at any point. She simply doesn't provide anything in combat that Shepard doesn't already have himself. With the Assassin 6, she actually has a very high damage protection rating, and her armor upgrade increases that even further. Now onto Shepard himself. The Thunder 6 assault rifle is the best one that we have. With 260 damage, it packs quite a punch, and it is equipped with a kinetic stabilizer for additional stability. We won't use shotguns with him, and I think we've also passed the point where we will go back to the pistol. Nonetheless, as a backup option, he has the Raikou 4 equipped. Onto the sniper, and here he has the Naginata 6. That one is worse than what Garrus has, but it is still useful and once again equipped with the rail extension. The grenade launcher goes with the high explosive 7 upgrade. That is once again the best we have available at the moment, and the Ursa 5 heavy armor is actually something we have on him for quite a while now, and with the shield modulator 6 upgrade we actually get that up to 350 points of shields. And that is our equipment overview complete. As usual, we will now sell a bunch of stuff we don't need anymore.
Looking for supplies?
More for a place to sell them, but sure.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Alright, this can now take a while, so let's skip ahead. Alright, as you can see down below, we made about 600,000 credits from selling, also obviously surpassing the 1 million mark. That has now unlocked the Rich achievement, and that is arguably the most useful one in the game. We are now able to purchase Spectre Master Gear, which is effectively a collection of the best gear in the game. However, we can only access the true top tier of weapons after reaching level 50, so we will hold off of any purchases until then. What we will do now, however, is leave the Normandy and step on the surface of Feros. The reason why I chose Feros as the third of the main mission planets has to do with morality points, or better, our rank in the intimidation skill. There is one particular situation on Feros where we need at least 10 intimidation or 12 charm points, and having either one of those is absolutely vital to our success here. I think I will talk more about the overall strategy once we're on the surface. Feros is a planet where I will make a few decisions that seem a bit unusual. Before we get into that, however, let's exit and pick our squad. We will take with us Kaidan and Wrex. We need some tech skills, and we also need a bit more biotics than what Wrex can provide. So that's why Kaidan is with us. Wrex is there because by now he's able to absolutely dominate. And we also haven't done a lot with him.
Ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
Before we get into it, we can quickly level up Kaidan. One more point to spend, and that one unlocks Advanced Barrier. With Wrex, we have 19 points to spend, and with those we will build ourselves a war machine. First of all, we'll max out fitness to get his health up to 453 and also grab ourselves master immunity. Then we will max out throw, which next to warp now gives him 2 very potent biotic abilities. Now we have 6 points to spare and could use those to max out combat armor, but Wrex is already pretty tough to take down, so let's put them in assault rifles instead and unlock shotguns. Then we can put 1 point in shotguns itself, leave the squad menu, and have another look at equipment. We will equip all 3 of our squad members with tungsten rounds against synthetics, because surprise surprise, the Geth are here. Now let's move out and get a first overview of the situation on Feros.
We saw your ship. Fai Dan wants to speak with you immediately.
And who would that be?
Who's Fai Dan?
He's our leader. He needs your help to prepare for the Geth. They're making another push. Please, up the stairs past the freighter. Take cover!
Alright, seems like the Geth push has come earlier than expected. However, we will very quickly see that those are no match for us. Especially Shepard's assault rifle is so strong that it absolutely tears through the Geth, and a 35% damage increase from the tungsten rounds is no joke either. Now the Geth have 5 bars of shields at this level, but we also have Master Overload on Fai Dan, which can remove most of that pretty easily. The first 3 Geth are now taken care of. There are a few more around the corner here. The first one gets a throw from Fai Dan and then immediately falls, and we can focus on the rest. There is 1 sniper and 1 shock trooper in the group, both probably not able to kill us instantly, but still able to deal a lot of damage on Insanity difficulty. Speaking of dealing a lot of damage, however, as you can see, we use very few abilities in this fight, and that is because we could probably solo this area with Shepard alone. 6 bars of shields, a raw damage output of over 350, simply put, the Geth here don't stand a chance. And that is the first major fight on Feros taken care of, although the game will shortly lead us to believe that there is more to come. A Geth Stalker and the Geth Sapper join us, and those are in theory 2 very annoying units. However, we can hit one with throw, the other one with lift. That immobilizes them, one gets taken out immediately and the other one dies to our assault rifle fire. With those 2 taken care of, we can now head up the stairs and into the colony that needs our help. For the moment we can't really talk to anyone, except for the colony's leader, Fai Dan, but he's at the other end. The way towards him goes through this structure here, which is actually a downed freighter, but we'll learn more on that at a later time. There is, however, one person that will talk to us inside the structure, and our target is around the corner to the left here.
Get through this. Just relax.
My headaches are getting better. I just have to stop thinking about the past. Hello, Off-Worlder. I'm glad that we aren't totally forgotten by the rest of the galaxy.
Dear, please try to rest. You're not ready to speak.
But they should know... I mean, they are very important. Yes. That's better.
We have the option to ask what's wrong for 2 Paragon points, or we could go with the slightly more asshole option for 2 Renegade points. Since we need the latter, let's do that.
I'm not going to catch anything from you, am I?
I'm fine. I just need to try to think clearly. It's just a lingering pain from the last attack. I'll be fine.
I can't see anything significant, but something is clearly causing her pain.
Please, just let her rest. She just needs rest.
Alright, that's 2 Renegade points, and on the way out I almost forgot there's also a Codex entry to grab here. Now we can head back out of the freighter at the other end and have a chat with Fai Dan.
Oh, Commander. I'm glad they finally sent somebody to help us.
You're a bit late, aren't you?
Arcelia. Sorry, Commander. Everyone's on edge since...
Watch out! We've got Geth in the tower!
Protect the heart of the colony!
Over there!
Alright, the Geth are once again on our heels, and this fight is not particularly harder than the one before. Even though the group consists of a shock trooper and 2 snipers, a well-placed overload works wonders here, because without shields, especially the snipers are very flimsy. The shock trooper falls shortly after, and a second group waltzes in. This time only 2 Geth, another shock trooper and another sniper. After a throw by Wrex, the latter one falls almost immediately, and despite hitting shield boost just in time, the shock trooper follows right after. We are not in the clear yet, a look on the minimap confirms that.
Let me die!
So up the stairs and to the right here we can greet another group of Geth with overload and throw. It is then only a matter of seconds until the first trooper falls, and that now makes it 3 against 2, time to blindly rush in. While we're fighting, you can see that there is a way down the tunnel where the Geth are standing currently, and once we're finished here, there is nothing that would stop us from going down there. However, it is not the way the game intends us to go, so we won't. Instead, we can wrap up the fight and then turn to the left and go up the stairs here. This will lead into another area with some Geth in it. Clearing this area out is the main objective for now. Once we're done with that, we can return to Fai Dan and the colonists and continue the main quest line. The room starts with only 3 Geth troopers, but reinforcements will come. However, they will take their time doing so, as they are scripted to only appear once 2 Geth troopers fall. We can take the first one out pretty easily, even behind cover from up here, and then chip away at the health bar of the other 2. Once the one on the right comes back into sight, we can land the killing blow and then immediately retreat because we have 2 Geth recon drone incoming. Those 2 will close the distance very fast and they actually hit pretty hard, so it's a good idea to get rid of at least one early. The other Geth won't follow us into cover, the recon drones however will, which makes a quick retreat a great strategy to take out the drone 3-on-1. And that is the 2 drones taken care of without anyone dying. Now we can focus back on the troopers. 2 of them have moved up a bit, so it's time to activate overkill for the first time, and that takes care of them pretty quickly. Another enemy that is not to be toyed around with is the Geth sniper in the back there. As you can see, it takes only 1 successful hit and we're almost dead. However, luckily for us, the same is more or less true the other way around. Once the sniper is dealt with, more reinforcements drop, and among them a Geth destroyer. With Shepard's health bar where it is, we should probably not engage that head on, and I also don't want to waste a medkit just yet, so let's just use the assault rifle to snipe away at the trooper in the back. Then the destroyer enters the picture, but we have all of our abilities ready. That means we can hit him with throw, overkill and overload, and that allows us to reduce a rather strong enemy to a pile of dust in a matter of seconds. What remains are 2 Geth troopers, and I think we can face those head on. With the rest of Shepard's overkill we can take out the first one relatively quickly, and the second one also falls so fast that we don't even need to enter melee combat.
Should keep Fai Dan and the others safe. After an update, we can head out for the main Geth encampment.
Now, before we return to Fai Dan and inform him that we've taken care of the Geth here, there is a bit of loot in the back that can easily be missed. First of all, we can get 2 ammo upgrades from the upgrade kit, and then we can use easy decryption on the medical station to grab a biotic amp and a heavy Krogan armor. Now we can simply go back the way we came and return to Fai Dan. With the Geth taken care of, we can now have our first real conversation with the man and learn a bit more about what happened and maybe even why.
The tower's secure. Thanks to you, Commander.
Once again, we have the chance to grab 2 renegade points here, and since we still need those, let's take them.
I'm interested in what Saren sent the Geth to find. Nothing more.
If it's Geth you're looking for, you've come to the right place.
They may have been slowed, but they'll be back. They always come back.
Which raises one very obvious question. Why?
What do they want?
If you want answers, go ask them yourselves.
We don't know what they're after. They came, they attacked us, that's all we know. Their main base is at the ExoGeni headquarters. A good place to start looking if you want answers.
Do you mind filling me in on the whole ExoGeni thing?
What's ExoGeni?
It's the company most of us work for before the attacks. They fund this colony. The Skyway leads directly to ExoGeni headquarters. You can't miss it.
Of course, there's an army of Geth between here and there.
Well, judging from the last 2 encounters, I would say we're pretty well prepared.
I didn't expect this would be easy.
Then maybe I can get this colony operational again.
Alright, now it is time to ask a few questions. And first of all, I would be interested in what he considers to be operational.
What do you need done to get this place back on its feet?
We need those Geth destroyed.
Arcelia's right. There are still Geth in the tunnels. We also have more mundane problems like food, water, and power. I'm not sure where we stand on those matters. You should talk to the people overseeing them.
Okay, then let's ask about all of those problems, one after the other.
Do you have information about Geth in the lower tunnels?
Nothing new. They're in the tunnel somewhere, likely guarding a transmitter to coordinate attacks. It's not a critical threat right now, but getting rid of that transmitter will help us defend against further attacks.
Is there anything I can do to solve your water shortage?
Maka Doyle has been assigned to that particular issue. If you have any insight to offer, please speak with her.
You mentioned something about a food shortage.
Davin Reynolds is tasked with securing food for the immediate future. If you can assist, please speak with him.
What's wrong with the colony's power supply?
May O'Connell is working on our power problems. She'd know more about it than I do.
Alright, that sounds like we have a few people to talk to, but before we do, let's get a few more answers out of these 2.
Let's talk about Zoo's Hope and Feros in general.
Of course, Commander.
For example, I think it couldn't hurt to learn more about where we are.
Tell me about your colony.
Life is hard and often brutal, even without our current problems. Colonial affairs back on Earth told us we'd be beneath the notice of any raiders. I guess they weren't counting on the Geth. But, despite everything, There's something tranquil about this place, unlike anything I've experienced before.
So how many people were you before the attack started?
How big was the original Feros colony?
We were nearly 1,000 at the main site, 200 more at my outpost. When the first wave obliterated our defenses, we fell back to Zoo's Hope.
And you really want to stand here and fight? I mean, we have a ship and we could just leave, you know?
The Normandy isn't huge, but we could airlift you out.
The Geth fighters are too dangerous, and I won't be driven off this world. It is our home. There's a chance for growth here that's simply not available on other worlds.
And I suppose that is why Exogeny got involved.
What else can you tell me about Exogeny?
Exogeny funded this colony. Without them, we wouldn't be stuck here.
They specialize in colonization. In return for bankrolling the colony, we work for them. Their main goal is the retrieval of valuable artifacts or resources.
Except there isn't anything here. Or if there is, we didn't find it.
And have you ever come to the conclusion that maybe the Geth have found something here that you didn't see?
I wonder if that's what the Geth are looking for.
Perhaps. As she said, we never found anything of value.
Of course, the Geth could know something we don't.
And speaking of the Geth, I would like to know more about what we're getting into.
What can you tell me about the defenses the Geth have set up?
I don't have any details, but I'll wager it's a lot more fortified than the command post.
They landed at least one Geth ship at Exogeny, and I've seen large walking tanks on the Skyway. Expect a hard fight.
Well, on Insanity difficulty, I never expect anything less.
I'll talk to you when I learn more.
Good luck, Commander.
Alright, 2 renegade points and a lot of information from this conversation. I think now is a good point to make a cut. In the next episode we will explore Feros more. Until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Cheers.